Ranger Alicia with Jefferson County Open Space. Thanks for tuning in to ESI Ecosystem Investigations. Everything is connected in an ecosystem.
Remember, an ecosystem is all the interactions between living and non-living things in the environment. Living things like plants, decomposers, and animals interact with non-living things like soil, air, and water. Animals need these non-living things to survive. There are two very important things that must be passed through an ecosystem in order for living things to survive. One is energy, which comes from the sun. All things need energy to grow and survive. The sun's energy enters an ecosystem through producers. Producers are living things that can make their own food. Most plants are producers and convert the sun's energy into sugars, which they store as food in their roots, leaves, and other parts so they can survive and grow. Many organisms cannot make their own food from the sun's energy and must eat other plants and animals. Organisms that eat other plants and animals are known as consumers. When they do, any energy that is stored in the organism being eaten gets passed on to them. The other thing that must be passed through an ecosystem for it to successfully function are nutrients. Nutrients are elements like calcium, iron, phosphorus, potassium, and nitrogen, and are needed for living things to survive. Unlike the energy which comes from the sun, nutrients are found in the soil. They enter the ecosystem by being absorbed into a plant through its roots. When an organism eats a plant or plant eater, those nutrients are passed up the food chain.
Today I'm going to talk to you about consumers. Consumers are animals that get their energy from eating other organisms. They don't get their energy from just standing outside and absorbing the sun. I'm full. No, that's plants. Consumers get their energy from eating other organisms. There are three different types of consumers. One that just eats meat. What is that called? It starts with a C. Carnivore. And what if you're a consumer that just eats plants? What are you called? Starts with an H. Herbivore. And what if you eat anything and everything? What are you called then? Starts with an O. Did you guess it? Omnivore. And how are consumers connected to the ecosystem? Let's look a little deeper into what a consumer might look like. Can I tell what a consumer eats by just looking at it? No, I can't tell what you eat by just looking at you. I can't look at you and say, looks like you eat pizza all the time. But if I look at a consumer's teeth, I can maybe have some good guesses about what they eat. So look at the teeth here. Right here on the yellow, those are called incisors. That's for cutting and gnawing. So animals like herbivores, deer, moose, rabbits, they will have teeth like that to eat the grass. Do you see the green ones? Those are called canines. That would be maybe like a mountain lion, and those are used for tearing and stabbing. So then we move on to the blue ones. Those are the premolars. Those are for slicing and grinding. And then the red ones called the molars, and those are for crushing and grinding. If you're an omnivore, would you have a mixture of all these teeth? Yeah, you would. So remember that herbivores tend to have the incisors, and they also have the molars. Carnivores have more of the sharper teeth. And then omnivores, they just have a mixture of everything. So with this new knowledge, I think you're ready for our next activity. I have 4 animal skulls for you to identify. So go ahead, number your paper from 1 to 4, and you're going to look at each one of these skulls, and you're going to guess what animal they are. Before you get started, I'm going to give you some hints. Are you ready? So your first hint is that these skulls are either a bear, a mountain lion, a deer, and the fourth skull, I'm not going to give you a choice. You're going to have to come up with that answer on your own. But remember, all these animals live in this ponderosa pine ecosystem. So think about what animals live in this forest. And in this forest, we don't have any streams or rivers. So that's your second hint. And your last hint is when you look at these skulls, pay attention to their teeth. Remember what we went over with that diagram about looking at the teeth and knowing what animals eat by just looking at the teeth. You ready? Number 1. Look at those teeth. What do you see? Do you see any flat teeth? Sharp teeth? Write down your answer. Number 2. What kind of teeth are those? Is that made for eating plants, meat, both? What do you think? That was number 2. Let's move now to number 3. What do you see? Any sharp ones there? Flat ones? Any incisors? And the last one, number 4. What do you see there? So remember what your guesses are. Mountain lion, black bear, deer. And then there's a mystery one. Are you ready to know the answers? Okay, let's see. Let's see if you got any of them correct. What did you guess for number 1? Arr! If you guessed a black bear, you're right. Look at those teeth. Black bears, they eat anything and everything, right? They eat grass, they eat berries, and they'll even eat dead animals that they see just kind of lying around. So they've got sharp teeth for the meat, and they've got the flat teeth in the back to eat the grass and other things. So the black bear is number 1. Number 2. What did you guess for number 2? Look at those teeth on this one. This one only eats meat. So it's got to be the mountain lion. Okay, number 3. Did you get this one right? Look at all those flat teeth. So this animal is probably just eating grass. So that is the deer. Okay, now my favorite one. I tried to trick you on this one. What was your guess on this one? Do you see the flat teeth? The crazy incisors on this? Did you guess beaver? If you did, you're wrong. This isn't a beaver, because remember what I said? In a ponderosa pine forest, there's not a river here in this forest. So it can't be a beaver because beavers live in the river. This one, my friend, is a porcupine. Well, I hope you got at least one of them right. That was a lot of fun. On behalf of Jefferson County Open Space, thank you for joining us.